applicant's Exhibit A1, assessment information from the Chester County Recorder's Office with regard to the 4 parcels involved in this application.
Originally?
No, I'm sorry,
Oh, sorry.
for the exhibits that we have introduced, the assessor's information with regard to the
Yes,
4
yes, there are 4 parcels that complete the 108 acres, yes.
And Mr.
7
Gibbons
parcels.
will be giving further
Yes.
testimony.
Correct, yeah.
And then, Chuck, did we also previously mark as applicant's Exhibit A2 a copy of that May 22nd, 2012 settlement agreement which you just spoke about?
Yes,
Now, it's true, is it not, that the settlement agreement between the Township Board of Supervisors, the Township Zoning Hearing Board, and the Fellowship permitted certain relief for the project to move forward through conditional use approval and ultimately land development approval?
yes it did.
And it's also true, is it not, that the settlement agreement provided for the grant of a variance to allow the new residential uses to be served by on-site individual wells and on-lot sewage systems?
Yes,
Is it also true that the settlement agreement contemplated a waiver from the cul-de-sac regulations, i.e. length of the cul-de-sac, should the township desire the proposed roadway serving the development not to be a through road?
yes,
We have also previously marked as applicant's Exhibit A5 a copy of the conditional use site plan for this project, which appears on the easel to my right. And Mr. Gibbons, as I said, will be giving further detailed testimony as our civil engineer on the proposed development of the site. But I'd ask you to maybe use what we've marked as applicant's Exhibit A3, an aerial photograph of the property with the proposed development superimposed, Chuck, to just give the board an overall understanding of how the site currently lays out and how the proposed development will be implemented. Please step over. You might want to be in that position so everyone can see. Well, that's it.
Am I going to be in your way? I guess when I stop at that.
That's fine, whatever's more comfortable.
This is Mount Carmel Road here, and Fellowship Drive, which was established back in about 1982 or 3.
Hold on one second, Chuck.
We can't see anything.
Can't
Put it
see anything.
on.
Point at a different angle.
It's going to be a little difficult.
You blinded us.
Move the map to the front.
Yeah.
Well, so we've got a little bit of
Well, why
balance.
don't you go over towards the recorder?
Good suggestion.
Okay? That's-
Yeah.
Everybody will see it.
I know you're going to get this direction more than once, but the court reporter can take only one person down at a time, so give us 1 second. Sorry, if you want to print easily.
No, the easel, I'm sorry. I didn't know you can stand there and hold it.
Can everybody see if it's over on this side? Can they see it better at least?
Yes.
I have been a human easel.
Can everybody see that now? So, my arms aren't long enough, but like I was saying before, this is Mount Carmel Road here.
You're pointing to the right of the site plan for...
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stand here.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Mount Carmel Road. Let's see, right here. This white line is Mount Carmel Road. This is Kathleen Drive. And right here is a road that was built in about 1982. And that is dead ends right here where the curve is. Now, the new development starts at this point where the entrance road will follow up along the edge of the Kathleen Drive development and then curve up here into the upper part of this field, and these are where the 23 houses will be. Now, over here is Temecula Road, and there's an emergency access from Temecula Road, from the end of the cul-de-sac at the Fellowship Road to Temecula. And that's for ambulances and fire trucks in case something happens in the middle of the community and they need access. So, I guess I could, being in the building business, I can explain briefly that this is practically a retirement community. And people are gonna build their houses as they want to retire. And it's probably gonna be about a 15 or 20-year build-out. It's not something that's gonna happen overnight with 23 houses being built in a year or two. A lot of the people in here are young and they just wanted to save a place for them to retire to. It's a nonprofit venture, as I explained before, and it's all members of the fellowship who have already bought these properties and donated the money to purchase the land. So the procedure of the build-out would be, people would build houses from the cul-de-sac out toward the front of the road, so since it's a long build-out, they wouldn't have to live in construction for 15 years, so that as we finish the houses on the west side and move to the east, the people wouldn't have to live in construction sounds. And this is where the institutional area is in here, and that, after we have half a dozen houses or so, in 3 or 4 or 5 years, we would start developing this area here. And that's pretty much what's up there now. There's buildings up there now, we'll just be enlarging them to accommodate the people who move into the development.
And Chuck, again, I stated in my opening, but I don't give testimony, the entire site comprises approximately 108 acres.
It's 108 acres, yes.
And aside from the 2 areas you described to be developed for the residences and the institutional use, the balance of the property, or approximately 75 acres, will remain in its current state.
Yes, it remains in its current state, and there are actually, we have planted orchards, fruit orchards and gardens there now, and we farm it ourselves. And also we rent the balance of the land out to an organic farmer for cows, for feed for his cows.
And just to be clear, as part of the institutional use, there will be a cemetery as well.
Well, there is a cemetery existing that was, it is just over 150 people buried there now, so we're sort of ensconced.
And that will continue.
And that will continue, it's been there since 1985.
Very good. Those are all the questions I have for Mr. Kinty. What I'd like to do, as now you've heard the testimony, that this process has been ongoing for quite some time. There was a conditional use application that was started, and I'm holding a
Can you use the
transcript.
mic, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
There was a conditional use process that was started in March of 2009. Specifically, I'm holding in my hand a transcript, March 24th, 2009, and I'd like to incorporate this as part of the record as a continuation of the conditional use, naturally as impacted by the settlement agreement we've spoken about earlier.
And I don't have any objection to that, provided that, everyone who else who is a party to the proceedings or obtains party status, you'll have the opportunity to get a copy of that from the township building. To the extent that you have any questions related to any of the testimony that was presented back during that hearing, is Mr. McGinty going to be back at the next hearing to answer any of those questions?
He will.
And